17 plus years and I want to check out my schools. Let's go. Ride with me to see what my elementary, middle, and high schools look like today. This is Harrison Elementary. It's founded in 1849. This is my very first school. I went here in kindergarten and first grade. And not too many memories of this fine school, but I remember my grandmother living right here on Jefferson Street. And this is Booker T. Washington Elementary. I believe I was in second or third grade when I went to Booker T. I believe my family was living out Charlotte Court then, and I made some friends. I was a little scared, I was a little nervous when I was young, but it's when I made my first friends. And y'all, this is the old Lindley off of Georgetown Road. It's now called Rise or something like that. This school had a little bit of a memory for me because me, my brother, and my cousin all went here at the same time. Springs, this is where I went to in the 5th grade. This was one of my favorite elementary schools. And this school was called the Academy, or the Academy of Lexington, which is now called the Learning Center off of Price's Road. And I went here a portion of my 6th grade, I believe, before I went over to Morton just for a little bit and then back to Crawford. And needless to say, yes, we did move around a lot. We're about to go down Eastland Parkway. Y'all know what school we're going to. It's Crawford Middle School. Y'all, I really enjoyed this school. The real ones went to this school. I was exposed to a lot at this school, and I did learn a lot. Shout out to everybody who went here. I went here in 7th grade. This was the middle school, because if you didn't go to Morton, where did you go? And y'all, let me tell you about my 8th grade experience at Morton. I absolutely loved it, but it was one incident that ended up happening to me that I will absolutely never forget. So let me tell you something. We were, the bell had rung, school was out, and we was lining up, everybody was great, get on the bus or whatever, so that way they can go home at the end of the day. And at this time, my school was doing some construction out in front of the area, and the little construction guys that was telling all the kids to be able to walk around so that way they can get into their bus. And what ended up happening was I had sandals on that day, and I was going around the bend exactly doing what they told me to do, but somehow, some way, a piece of plywood and nail had stuck on the side of my left foot, and I was screaming and I was so scared and it hurt so severely bad. But then the daggone bus driver was telling me, come on, get on this bus or I'm gonna leave you. And I kept telling him I am hurt very badly, and I got some wood stuck on the side of my shoe and it was going through my foot. So he made me get on the bus. I didn't have a phone to call my mom because back in the day, who really had a phone in middle school? But it was one person. I'm gonna tell you who it was. But so I got on the bus and I was crying and I was in pain, and I began to have blood to be able to pour out of my sandal. And I was so shocked. And luckily, one of my friends, Barbara Ann at the time, she had a phone, so she had contacted her dad. Shout out to Mr. Ernest. And shout out to him because whenever she had called him, he was able to contact my mom and tell my mom that I had got hurt right before I got on the bus, and it was blood coming out of my shoe. So my mom didn't have a car at the time, but Mr. Ernest met us at the bus stop. He ended up taking me to UK Hospital, and my mom either took a cab or somehow, somewhere she was able to get there. And my foot was swollen. It was so black and it was so terrible looking. There was blood everywhere. And luckily, he was able to take me to the doctor right at this nick of time, because the physician had told me if I was 10 minutes late because of my foot was so black and blue, I would have got my foot cut off. All because of that bus driver. Y'all, here we are. The Dundada is here to play. Oh my gosh, it looks so different. They're doing a lot of construction down there, but this was my school, y'all. So to me, this was school of all schools. I enjoyed my time here at Henry Clay being a Blue Devil. My mom and were here, two of my aunties, and the season that I graduated, I was able to spend it with most of my cousins because we graduated in 2008. Shout out to the principal. I believe it was Mr. Little, and somebody else was the principal at the time. Phenomenal teachers and my whole class crew. And here was the Salon Professional Academy, also known as T-Spa. I went the technical route right after high school. I rode here, I believe, December 2009, and I graduated 2011. I got my cosmetology license, and I was able to work in a shop shortly after. Y'all, I met so many friends here. Shout out to my crew. But this school is now called The Summit, and they actually moved. They are near Liberty Road and New Circle now. And this is the Bluegrass Community and Technical College, also known as BCTC. And I enrolled here in 2011 to obtain my associates in criminal justice. And with that experience, I was able to work for a couple police departments. And I worked for a total of 3 police agencies, and I loved every last one of them. In 2018, I enrolled for my bachelor's in business administration. It was an online school. It was a private school as well. And a sneak surprise, in the spring semester of 2026, I'll be enrolling into a new school. Stay tuned.